Touchdown Tampa Bay. You're listening to the PewterCast.
Welcome to the PewterCast and a very, very special show. This is our 2019 PewterCast Awards nomination show. Ren Daxt, it is here. Time for one of my favorite times of the entire year, PewterCast Awards.
Yes, Brent's favorite show.
It's true. It is. I love this show for no other reason than I do it.
That's about it.
Yeah. Ren, you seem a little less than plus tonight, buddy.
Well, yeah. I mean, we were supposed to go on at 9.
Yeah. Hey, listen, live shows, sometimes things happen. We are about 30 minutes late. Sorry to everybody out there.
No,
but
the Packers and Seahawks are playing. Like, I'm shocked we have one person in the
sure.
what is it, the chat room there.
Mm-hmm. Well, for right now, we'll see how it fills up. But hey, listen, this really is more for those of you guys that are listening on the
Yes, it
podcast
is.
later on, and for those of you that'll get out there. So this is not a call-in show. Anybody who's looking to call in and stuff like that, that's not what this particular show is. So thank you guys for joining us. And but Ren, we've got a whole mess of stuff to get through tonight as far as our awards nomination. Now, this show, for anyone who might not be aware, the PewterCast is we host an annual award show. This was actually something that we did from our very first year. Mm-hmm. And the idea is this is the only fan voted award show, at least that I know of, surrounding the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And even though we've had some down years, there are still lots of things to celebrate. There are players who just played their absolute hearts out. There are people surrounding this thing that we do that we also kind of want to honor on a yearly basis. Some of our friends in the media room, some of our fellow podcasts, different things like that. So we'll be going through. We've got 11 different categories we're going to be announcing awards for tonight, Ren. That I'm pretty super excited. At least these are nomination shows. And at the end of the show, guys, we will open up voting. You guys will be able to go vote right away. You can vote. I think almost as often as you want. And we got ways to filter out bad stuff, but you guys can go. You can vote. You can vote as often as you want. Make sure you vote after you go vote for our friend Big Nasty at ForwardHallOfFans.com every day from now until December the 27th, actually. And you'll do that longer than you will for this show because, Ren, in just like 2 weeks, we're going to be back with the actual award show, January 26th. That one will go live at 9 o'clock. January 26th, we'll be back to let everybody know who's the winner. So, Ren?
Yes.
Why don't we get into this, buddy? What do you think?
I'm very excited.
I can tell. As can everyone else out there. So it's going to be one of those folks. Buckle in. Buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be one of those. So,
I'm excited. Let's go.
Yeah. I love the sound of you drinking over there. Hey, here we go. Let's do this. Category number 1, the PewterCast Guest of the Year. Voting for your favorite guest from the PewterCast, the 2019 season on. Ren, we had nine guests over the course of the season. A couple guests kind of doubled up over the year. We had a couple of weeks where it was just you and I. This is really from those guests who came on our Tuesday shows or Wednesday shows, actually, I guess. We record on Tuesday nights. And people there. So the nominees for this particular category, you guys go vote and let us know who it is that you like. JP Peterson from FanStream Sports actually was our first guest this season.
He was.
Kicked us off. It was a very, very fun conversation with him. Mark Cook at PewterReport.com. We got Greg Allman of The Athletic. We got TJ Reeves from the Bucks Radio Network. Derek Fournier, formerly of What the Buck. It was fun to get to talk to him. Scott Smith of Buccaneers.com. Eddie Encina of the Tampa Bay Times. Scott Reynolds at PewterReport.com. And Zach Blobner, WDAE.
That is correct.
All right. So there's that. That's some good guess. All right, well, I guess moving
Do you
on.
think?
Ren has nothing to. I'm sorry. Did I not ask it in the form of a question, Ren? Is that what it was?
I don't think there's a question at all.
Mm.
This should be an interesting one. I think. Like you said, the list's a little shorter than normal than past
Mhm.
years.
Right.
Because we did have some doubles up, and we had a couple of weeks where, like you said, it was just us.
Mhm.
And we got some new people in there that we haven't talked to before.
Mhm.
So this is going to be interesting.
Right.
I'm interested to see
Mhm.
how this
Right.
goes, especially early on.
Right. And there were, and there were some weeks like if you remember, there was the and I'm not trying to bias all the voters out there, but just trying to remember what some of these weeks were. Like we got like some big new bits of news dropped. Like Mark Cook dropped one on us about Shaq Barrett over the course of his week. I think did Greg Allman came in, and I remember there was something kind of heavy with him. But then there was just like a really good listen, which was like Derek Fournier and Scott Reynolds. If you remember, Scott Reynolds came in, he gave us like a full hour, whereas most of these guys we get like a half hour, and Scott
Right.
just kind of kept going on. JP Peterson was obviously one of our new guys. And I'm gonna stop because I'm not trying to single anyone out. I'm just saying there are various guys, and as you guys are voting out there, especially if you've been listening to the show throughout the course of the year, you can go back in the podcast feed and just kind of even maybe from the show notes, just sort of go, oh yeah, that's what he talked about, and that's what he talked about, and that was that there. So you guys can vote, but you get to vote. You've been listening all year long. Now you get to vote for who was your favorite guest right here on the PewterCast from the 2019 season. All right, next category we have here. And see, over in the chat room, they're saying they'd rather hear from us rather than watch this game. So there you go. All right. Next category. This surrounds Buccaneer podcast land. I said this wasn't all just Buccaneers. This was having to do with some of the things going on around us as well. From Bucks podcast land, this is the best. Not it's the best. It's just the Bucks podcast of the year.
Mm-hmm.
This is one that we have been nominated for every single year.
Mm-hmm.
It's our own podcast, but we have legitimately been nominated. We have yet to win, Ren.
That is correct.
We have yet to win. I want to correct that. But we'll see. It's up to the voters, really. It's up to the voters.
I don't even care anymore. I don't. Last year was sort of like my all in as far as like really wanting this. Like, come on now. Like, come on, guys. This is like year 3, and we've nominated every year. It's time for us to win this. And we didn't. So now, obviously, all the categories are just completely bogus, and there's no point in doing this anymore.
All right. Glad to know you feel that way.
Of course not. But this year, if we don't win, like I'm really not going to be upset about it. Last year, I was upset about it. I was legitimately like upset about it. I'm like, really? I'm like, really? But now,
well,
I'm like,
of course, in winning last year, our friends James and David over at Locked On Bucks podcast, and they are back, Ren, to defend their title.
Oh, good.
They are one of the nominees this year. Locked On Bucks, of course, the PewterCast is going to be on the list. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I should mention this. We've got 5. There's 5 on the list, and actually, most of these categories, because of our nominating committee. Actually, I don't think I talked about that, but because of our nominating committee, the way they nominated, we started looking at it. Normally, we do it with 4. But they kind of pushed us to 5, the way that shook out. So, so we've got 5. So let me get through this, and we'll talk about the nominating committee in just a minute. But it's the PewterCast, it's us, Locked On Bucks, the Pewter Nation podcast over at Pewter Report. That's our friends Scott and Mark and Trevor, Grizz and Matt and those guys over there. Real Bucks Talk, Michael Pless and Mark Ramirez are over there, and then a new podcast on the scene this year, Ren.
Ooh.
Catching a nod in their rookie season as a podcast, the Loose Cannons podcast by Sammer, and I know Stank Bastard does it, and Stephen Beck's been on it here lately, and oh crap, his name escapes me. He does the barbershop stuff. Christian from Headlines Barbershop. So they've got a great podcast over there. So those are the podcasts who have been nominated for this year, Ren.
Yeah, well, James and David, like you said, are back, and I wasn't upset that James and David won. I just want to make that clear. I was just upset that I lost.
You didn't win. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, like you said, you should probably talk about the nomination committee, because there's going to be some surprises coming up with players and other things that didn't make it, that you like this one, like when you read me the nominees. Like I was shocked that Ira didn't make it.
Right.
You
I
know?
was shocked that Sports Day Tampa Bay didn't make it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And a few others.
But
So
the reasons why
right.
is
So the reason for that and the way that this has worked. So trying to keep this really, a lot of people kind of give you the hee hee ha ha, like, oh, it's the Dundies or it's something like that. And you don't want to make that comparison. That's fine. But trying to keep it out of that and sort of bring some,
legitimacy.
idea of legitimacy is there's actually a nominating committee. And here's how it's formed. And it's different every year, but it's formed of 2 credentialed media people. It's formed of 2 fringe media people. So that's people like you and I, Ren, who do Bucks podcasts who are not credentialed.
Right.
Then you and I each get a vote because
Yes.
it's our show. And then we do 2, I don't know how you call it, not super fans. That's not the idea, but 2 fans that we've interacted with that we can sort of kind of trust their ideas and their looks at stuff.
Yeah.
So we kind of get it's a sample from kind of all the different pieces of people looking at this, and that's who makes up the nominating committee. There's 8 people, you and I, and they all send in their nominations and we just sort of tally them up, and here it is. And this year most of these categories went to 5 because they kept giving us ties.
Yes, we tried to keep it at 4, but and the point of being fair, and Brent and I sort of making decisions behind the scenes, behind the curtain. So the people, that if they were tied for 4th place, they both made it. So we have a lot of people with or a lot of categories, I should say, with 5.
Yeah. So that's how it works. In case anybody was wondering there. So all right, moving on, Ren. This is the last one that doesn't concern the Buccaneers themselves, but the last one was about the Best Bucks podcast. First one was guest of the year here for the Orange Show. This last one is the best, or not even best. I got to quit saying that. It's just the Bucks media personality of the year.
Right.
This is an interesting one. Go ahead, Ren.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This is interesting because it's not like your favorite writer or your favorite, or the person that you agree with the most on Twitter. It's best personality. So, I voted for Lee DeKemper. He didn't make the list,
right?
But as far as personalities,
it's a personality for sure.
It's like, for me, it's like that guy's got to be in there. But he didn't make the list. But so that's sort of the difference. So if you think of this as like best, it's not best Bucks reporter or podcast personality, or it's sort of like kind of like, who's your favorite? Like, who has it? Takes all that encompassing of their ability, their trustworthiness, and But if you have ability and trustworthiness, and you're a bump on a log, you might not be nominated for this category.
And this one, just to be clear, the what qualified people for this particular category, it's the media core. You have to be credentialed media with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And there is a little asterisk that I put next to this, like for the sake of this particular award, Carmen Vitale and Scott Smith, who work for the Buccaneers, so they're not really credentialed because they work for the team, but they do that same thing and they're in those same rooms and they have that same aspect. So they qualify for this award as well. So with that being said, without further ado, let's unveil the nominations. What do you think, Ren?
Sure.
All right.
I voted for myself, by the way. I did not make it. Brent disqualified it because of the credential thing.
Exactly. So let's see here. Who do we got? We have Trevor Sikkema over at PewterReport.com, who's back once again. We have Carmen Vitale of Buccaneers.com, who came in. I think she came in like 2nd for this award or one of our awards last year. She was so close. So she's back to try to rein in her first Pewty of the year, or
fresh off her first year of being a Buccaneers writer.
Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times.
Ooh, Stroudy make it. All right.
Yeah. And Ira Kaufman at JoeBucksFan.com.
All right.
And the surprise, Tom Bassinger of the Tampa Bay Times.
I'm so proud of our nominees for putting Tom in there, because he's he's there is no in between.
No, there's not.
There's no in between.
Right.
And he's he's not my favorite, but I do not find him as nearly as grating as my co-host does.
It's there's just whatever. But hey, listen, this is not about me and my own personal thing. This really is about the the Bucks fandom as a whole. And Tom Bassinger has a huge following. He certainly is a personality. Like he 100% is a personality. He is credentialed Bucks core. It would be very unfair to leave him off this list, regardless of quite honestly, I think our own personal feelings towards each other.
And we did have a conversation about it.
Yes, we did. But it's
and is he a personality? Because I don't know.
Hmm?
Like I don't know. Like I can't tell because I'm blocked on Twitter.
Yes, he is definitely
for doing nothing. For doing nothing.
Yeah, probably because of your association with me. To be honest,
did you get is the show blocked?
I think so. Yeah.
Are you personally blocked?
Yes, I am. So
yeah.
But I got like, please block me. You pull up a burner account and see what you're doing. It's not like you're gonna hide yourself from it. Whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Not really caring that much about it.
But anyway, those are your nominations. And listen, I certainly don't want to bias you. If you guys think that Tom Bassinger,
so Trevor Sikkema,
Ira, Carmen Vitale, Rick Stroud, and Tom Bassinger.
It's a strong field.
That is a strong field. I'll be very interested to see how this one comes out. Trevor, by the way, is reigning in this particular category.
Didn't Cook win last year?
No, Cook won guest of the year last year.
Oh,
yeah.
So Trevor's a 2-time winner, though, right?
I think he might be
like back to back.
No, I think he three-peated last year. Yeah.
Wow,
so
we got
like his 4th time in a year winning. I think. I'm pretty sure that's the way it is. Yeah.
We got to tank that.
Trevor's got a big following, man. He's got a big following, but
we got to spread rumors or something.
There you go. So anyway, but yeah, so good luck to all of you guys, and we'll see how it comes out. Get your people to vote. All right, Ren, let's focus this in a little bit more here are these last categories towards the Buccaneers themselves. I don't know if you count these guys as Buccaneers. I do. Coach of the year. Let's talk about our coach of the year. Todd Bowles, defensive coordinator. Makes a whole lot of sense. Byron Leftwich, actually, this one surprised me a little bit from the nominating committee, but I like that he was in there. Byron Leftwich, offensive coordinator. Casey Rogers, defensive line. Larry Foote, linebackers coach. And Kevin Ross, defensive backs coach.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Those are all good ones. I mean, I was surprised
for each one of them.
I don't, except for the linebacker, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah. Like
Devin White, Levante David, that whole, and I mean, wouldn't that also count Shaq Barrett and JPP and those guys out on the end?
Does it?
They're linebackers, so
but what room are they in?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, so if you looked at it that way, because linebacker, I'm like, okay, so it's Minter, like Devin White and Levante David. Like really, what are you coaching Levante David by now? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but
I assume, I'm going to just say I assume that this does include what we would think of as the defensive ends, who are really the outside linebackers. They're in this room.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
And if that's true, then I can see him being in there. Because having JPP, Shaq Barrett in there,
but then you also have the defensive line, which is at least that middle, by that same logic, it'd be that middle guys, the
best run defense in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, look, Derrick Henry, who's had damn near 200 yards for the last 3 games he's played in a row, and we held him to 75.
Yep.
So, and I mean, we held.
And he got most of that off one run.
Right. That's right. And we've held most of the big name, running backs in the league to well under 100 yards this year. So
you only gave up 100 yards to one guy, and he fumbled.
Wait,
that was the Seattle game when Devin White ran down Carson.
Yeah.
He had like that long, it was like 50, 60 yards.
So
that's where he got it. And that's kind of normally what happens. Like if you watch somebody, gets like 100, somewhere between like 100 and 100 and under 120 yards, like there's a run in there that's either like 50 yards or there's like 2 like 20 yarders.
Gotcha.
And then just kind of grind away the rest of the game. That's just kind of how it works.
Mhm.
When you're pushing, like 150, 180, that's when you look and you've got like 2 or 3 30-yarders and things like that. So yeah, it was Derrick Henry got that long one, and they held him under 100, and Carson got that long one, which Devin White actually made him fumble, went out of bounds. And if we would, I don't know, does that count? If we would have
Um,
recovered that, does that run count?
yeah, I mean, it would probably go to the point of the fumble,
Yeah,
So yeah,
but I don't know, because like interceptions don't count as completions,
right.
which I don't understand.
It's not the guy you meant to throw it to. I don't know.
He still caught it.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
mean, if you meant to throw it to OJ Howard and it bounced off his helmet and Perryman catches it, is that a completion?
Yes, that would be. Yeah. So
You're already getting penalized for the INT.
right,
Can't you
right,
get the complete? It was complete. I don't know what
right.
the problem is.
So yeah, you got that. But what about Kevin Ross in the defensive backs room? I mean, my God.
That's who that was the one I voted for. I also voted
Yeah.
for BA, who didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
Bowles and Leftwich. Bowles
Mhm.
because of sort of this turnaround in the second half of the season. I know it's weaker competition,
Mhm.
but you could really see sort of it all come together.
Yeah, it might have been weaker competition, but they were legitimately playing better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I mean, we saw it the first half of this year, and not it was Bowles' fault, but it was pretty much the same guys east in the backfield all of last year. It
Mhm.
didn't matter who we played.
Right.
Even what was it, game 2, game 3? Daniel
Mhm.
Jones comes in here and scores 4 touchdowns and looks like a world beater, and they called him Danny Dimes, and then they went and lost
Right.
10 in a row.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so yeah, so so all that coming together, and then the huge step forward is that like SMB played,
Yeah.
and Dean, and when Carlton
And even
learned
David.
how,
Yeah.
how how to not get flagged every time he made a
Mhm.
play,
Mhm.
and that's why I voted for the defensive back coach. He was one of
Yeah.
mine. He was one of
Yeah.
mine. So this is going to be a tough one. I'm not sure who the favorite is. I think probably the defensive line coach,
Mhm.
who I didn't think of and put in there. I think him and Bowles will probably be the front runners.
Mhm. Mhm. It'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting to see how the people vote and what they do. All right. Next category, Ren, moving on. This is a somewhat of a new category. We've just tweaked it a little bit from last year. This is our step up player of the year.
Right.
And this is a player who has stepped up and made a significant contribution to the team, maybe one that was even unexpected, including but not limited to earning a starting role on the team. So we have 5 nominees in this category, bringing in the rookie, Sean Murphy Bunting, Kevin Minter, Brashard Perryman, Ronald Jones II, and Alex Kappa.
What's this category?
Yeah, this is this was formerly the off the bench player of the year.
Why
This
is
is
Kappa in it then?
huh?
Why is Kappa?
Well, it's part of how the tweak came. It's the player who stepped up and made a significant contribution to the team. So where you think of where Kappa was last year, stepping up into the role this year, and yeah.
Oh, I read that wrong.
Mm.
Is there an off the bench guy? No, that was
No,
this category.
yeah,
I read
yeah,
this wrong. Okay. Anyway,
yeah. So,
no,
which I mean, we could talk. I mean, talk about Kappa for a minute. I mean, my God, when you think about what Kappa was last year, he's a guy who definitely stepped up this year.
yeah, for a guy that couldn't, get in, get ahead of, who was it?
Mhm.
Beninock? Was that it?
Yeah, it's been a knock last year,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
couldn't get in front of Beninock.
right.
Um,
And we
and
didn't
that
talk about him a whole lot,
and
right?
that
Which is
was great, which
mhm,
which is great for an interior
mhm.
lineman.
Kind of in that same route, Ronald Jones as well.
Hmm.
Not just from last year, but even this year. Like he definitely started behind Peyton Barber.
Yeah,
And time we get to the end of the season, that script had flipped and he was starting, over Peyton.
right.
Rashard Perryman was another one.
Hmm.
I know it took the injury and our 2 guys going out. Can't say they're on IR because they didn't one of them didn't get placed on IR until the very end, but actually I don't know if he ever did, Chris Godwin. But I mean, Rashard Perriman definitely stepped up there at the end when those guys went out. Sean Murphy Bunting, yeah, you alluded to just a few minutes ago when we were talking about the defensive backs coach, of how he really turned it up. And then even Kevin Minter stepping in when Devin White went down early in the season.
Played awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So Deserving category. I'm interested to see how this one turns out, to see who sticks out in most people's minds as they go to vote for that. All right. Next category, unsung hero of the year. This is a category that's really designed to give accolades to someone who has made one of the biggest contributions to the team, but received little to no, pub about it or fanfare or whatever you want to say. In this category, I like this one. Ryan Jensen leading off the pack. Vita Vea, Ndamukong Suh, Carl Nassib, and Alex Kappa back again for a second category.
Yeah, this is gonna be a tough one because Nassib and Sue and Kappa. I don't know about Vita. We were, I think Vita got a lot of. I don't get a lot of national love, but I think early on, he was getting a lot of love from the team, and people were talking about him, about how strong he from training camp on. Not that he's going to get blown out, but I think those other three guys sort of have a stronger case.
Well, we'll see. All they all certainly are deserving of an award, but this is where our nominating committee placed everybody. I think I said a minute ago, leading off the pack, Ryan Jensen. These are not in any order, by the way, that they came in. These are all kind of shuffled up. He just was the first one on the list as I was reading it. That's all. All right, next category here, free agent of the year. This is a free agent acquisition that has been signed during the 2019 league year. A change from last year's rule. We did not allow anybody who would have been a free agent who the team re-signed to qualify for this. They had to be new to the team this year. So with that, we had five guys in here. Leading off the pack, Shaq Barrett. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Ndamukong Suh, Rashard Perryman, Bradley Pinion, and Andrew Adams.
I don't think it's gonna be much of a contest, Brent.
It'll be hard. The other guys, certainly, I think when you look at the free agents that we brought in, you could make an argument for each one, but when you lead the league in sacks, it's just going to be a tough road to hoe for any of the other guys in this particular category.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. It's not up to us, Bryn. It's not up to you and I. It's up to the voting fans out there. So we'll see who they vote. But yeah, I'm with you. All right. Hey, we're running it into our top players of the year. Here we go. Rookie of the year. These were pretty much straight across with every single nomination form that came in. Devin White, Matt Gay, Jamel Dean, Sean Murphy Bunting, and Mike Edwards.
Mike Edwards made it, huh?
Mike Edwards made it. Yeah.
That's interesting.
I
think this is this isn't going to be close. It's not what it is. It's going to be White.
You think so?
It's going to be White, and then people that don't want to vote for White because they want to be like, I'm going to, have a smart vote, and those people are going to split between Dean and Gay.
Okay.
But I mean, Devin White, he deserves it. He won Defensive Rookie of the Month twice. It's his to lose.
Right. It's one of those for me. The guy I really loved, especially towards the end of the year, was Jamel Dean. I loved it every time he stepped on the field, and I don't think we had like I mean, my God, Jamel Dean came in, only played like 7 games this year in the back half of the season, something like that.
Yeah,
and played like part-time and was like second in the league in pass breakups.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, he was a guy that I really love, but I get exactly what you're saying when you talk about Devin White. I mean, you're right. He won Defensive Player of the Month for the last 2 months of the season back to back. He really, he might have even qualified for that step up player of the year. Like the way that his play elevated over the course of the season was really something. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But then, I don't know. If Matt Gay hadn't missed a couple of kicks there at the end of the season,
right,
he might give White a better run for his money. But I think
a better run, not a run, a better run.
I think those missed couple of kicks that are going to stick in people's minds. But we'll see, because a lot of people loved Matt Gay a lot this year. So, all right. Let's bring it home. We got our final 3 categories here. Defensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Who was our MVP of the defense for 2019? Here are the nominees: Shaq Barrett, Levante David, Devin White, Vita Vea, and Jason Pierre-Paul.
I think it's a 2-man race.
You think so?
Yeah. The first 2.
You think the first 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shaq and
Levante David
Levante.
is a previous winner of this award too, by the way.
Yeah. And he's been an argument for the winner of the award since we've had it, and even before then.
All 4 years, yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, before this award show was anything, for sure.
He'd still be in that category.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like you said, when it was free agent of the year, it's hard to get past all those sacks.
Mm-hmm. It really is. It really is. And Levante David, I mean, my God, it just especially for a guy who, experienced another quote unquote Pro Bowl snub, but he did just get named to, what was it, the all decade team.
Yeah.
He was on the second team for the AP
All Pro
team. Yeah.
Yep. The AP All Pro.
Devin White came in certainly, with the rookie. He had Vita Vea. I love watching him pick us center up and then walk him back and set him in his quarterback lap. That was always fun to watch. And then JPP, I mean, I think he might have been in the running for this award last year. And I forget exactly where he was. I think he might have won.
I think so too.
Yeah. But the difference from when he came in versus when he was gone, there was a significant difference. And a lot of our media friends, a lot of people that were there in the building really placed a lot of that credit at JPP's feet. So we'll see. I'll be very interested to see how the fans vote on this one.
Levante David's chances are going to directly correlate to if it's before or after the free agents of the year question. Because if it's after, people have already voted for Shaq,
right,
and go, well, I've already voted for Shaq. Levante deserves it.
So,
but if it's in front of it, people read it and go, well, Shaq, I love Levante, but fair's fair. Shaq was defensive MVP, and then they come down to free agent, and they're like, oh well, I got to give it to Shaq there too. So if they don't go up and change it, I think that's how it's going to work.
Well, and here's the thing: part of the added security of this year's voting form is that the questions will shuffle for people, so they won't be in the same order, and the names won't always be in the same order. That way, it makes it a little harder for people to like write bots, and things like that. Which we had a little bit. I probably shouldn't say that. Anyway, but we figured it out. We knew it was, and we were able to do the math on it. It was fine. But anyway, but it makes it a little harder for that kind of stuff. So of course, some smart person probably already knows how to get around it. So whatever, I don't care. We'll figure it out like we did last year.
These aren't the Nobel Prizes, so
right, exactly.
If we get hacked by Russia, so be it.
Right. All right, let's get on. Offensive Player of the Year. Who was the offensive MVP of 2019? Lots of good players, but here are the 5 who made the list. Jameis Winston, right up at the very top of my list here anyway. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, going head-to-head at it again. Both guys named to the Pro Bowl this year. We have Ryan Jensen sliding into this particular category.
Nice.
And Ronald Jones II.
Really?
Yes.
Whoever put him in needs not to get a ballot next year.
It was more than one person, but yeah.
Whomevers.
No, whom does not make it plural, but okay.
I put an S at the end. Whomevers.
Right.
Whomevers. I think this would probably be a easy slam dunk for Winston if it wasn't for the turnovers.
Right. What Ren, according to you, if it wasn't for the turnover, and oh my God, not just you, but a lot of other people since you, if it wasn't for the turnovers, he'd be vying for MVP of the league.
Be a 2-man race.
Yeah. But the turnovers are there; they are a thing. So
it's Chris Godwin.
I really hope. I'm sorry. I want to talk because I really hope people don't just turn off Jameis because of that.
Yeah.
You know, like really look at James. I mean, there's going to be people that won't vote for him just because, like if you want to vote for somebody else, you legitimately think that they were a more valuable player than Jameis, and however you assign value, fine. But to just negate Jameis because of the turnovers, I think would also be not unfair, but
Short-sighted.
yeah, it would be short-sighted.
Yeah.
That's good.
But since people are going to do that, it's Chris Godwin's.
Yeah, Chris. I mean, Chris Godwin was certainly a. I can't say it was a surprise because we all saw it coming,
Yeah.
right? And he just,
Yeah.
I mean,
We even
every
saw it
time
coming.
we needed
We even
somebody,
saw
it was him.
and we saw it under Cutter. It just
Yeah.
he wouldn't put him in the game.
Right.
You know, the
Right.
only time he'd get the ball is, oh, Deshaun Jackson's hurt. Oh, look, Chris Godwin, 100 yards
Mhm.
and a touchdown. What do you know?
Mhm.
Oh, 2 weeks in a row. Oh, D-Jax is back. Sorry, Chris. Hit the bench.
Right.
Like,
Right.
okay,
Right.
whatever you say. I
Which
think
throws into
Ryan.
question that idea that Alex Kappa couldn't get on the field over Caleb Benenoch. You're like, couldn't, or coach wouldn't let him.
Yeah. And then Jensen really falls into just happy to be nominated. Especially after the year.
I hate to put it like that, but I understand what you're saying there.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a reason though that Jensen came in for the unsung hero of the year, which is a great spot for him. And I don't know that we talked about him much up there, but I mean, Jensen had a really good year at center. Especially for a guy who had, by his own admission, struggled last year. Had a very, very good year. And one thing I liked about Jensen this year, I don't think we've ever talked about it on the show, is you remember like when he like hurt his arm and he comes out, everybody's like, look how like red in the face he is. And like turns out the next game, like you got and you notice like he's actually wearing like a red tinted visor. Like, so it's not that he was just that red in the face, like his visor is tinted that same color.
I'm not sure I'm down with that story.
Okay.
Because I don't think it can be tinted.
No, it was tinted.
I don't think it's allowed to be. That's the thing.
But it was tinted. It's like a pink colored, red colored tinted.
I'm just saying that's the way it looked. I'm saying he was looking at something pink or red, and that reflection was on his visor when you were looking at it.
I'll pull photos and show it to you. It was 100% tinted. So
like he's standing next to the Gatorade bucket.
No,
it looks tinted.
No.
Because I think it has to be clear, and the only way it can be dark is you have to, not that it's prescription, but you have to have some type of doctor's note for it to be tinted, and it can only be like tinted like car window tint color.
Okay, I can't explain any of that to you. I'm just telling you, I know what I saw. I'll pull photos and show it to you later. But anyway,
sure.
For the sake of this particular,
and then Ronald Jones is the guy out there going like, I don't even know why I'm here. Like I'm shocked. Like really? I'm what? Okay, I got nominated.
Glad to get the nomination.
I got a nomination. Wow, that's weird. All right.
Well, Ren, we're up here against it. We are here with our final category of the evening, our 2019 Player of the Year. Which player takes it home for the entire team? The nominees are Mike Evans, Lavonte David,
yep,
Chris Godwin,
yeah,
Shaq Barrett,
yeah,
Jason Pierre-Paul.
Ooh, Jameis didn't make the list?
Jameis did not make this list. That's not to say that nobody nominated him. Just of the nominees, he was.
Oh, I know somebody nominated him because I did. I know I did. Wow. Okay. So Evans, Godwin, David.
Evans, Godwin, David, Shaq Barrett,
and Pierre-Paul, JPP. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think really Mike has a chance.
Yeah.
Unless he gets like, everyone are just huge Mike Evans fans.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's just basically because he has a guy at his position put up better numbers than he did. Not just another guy in offense. There wasn't like a guy in offense that had a better year, but Godwin had better numbers.
But didn't he play in one extra game than Mike Evans did?
Yeah, but still.
And I think Mike Evans got to the 1,000-yard mark before Godwin. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that.
I won't. So you got Godwin, Lavonte David, who could be up for this every year.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq Barrett, who's probably the odds-on favorite.
It's possible.
And and then JPP, which you talked about how, people in the know have really credited him with that defensive turnaround in the second half of the season that coincided and lined up with him coming back. So, he could get some votes there, but I think it's a 3-man race. And I think it's going to go, I think Barrett, and then I think the odds are the same for David and Godwin. I think Godwin had more of a flashier year, but since it's his first time doing it, and with David's resume, those sort of wash each other out.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be something. I don't know that Shaq Barrett will run away with it as much as I think you think he will.
I don't think he will. I just think he's odds-on favorite.
Well, I don't know that he's as much of a favorite as it seems to be. You're saying. I think it's going to be a more
how much am I saying?
I don't know. Give me a percentage, Ren. What do you think?
I don't know. It doesn't matter what it is. Obviously, you think it's
I don't
more.
think he's the odds-on favorite. I think it's a fairly even race, at least between those three. And I think that either Mike Evans or JPP could be a legitimate dark horse in this category.
That's good. So who do you think's going to win
this particular category?
Yeah.
I want to refrain from saying that right now just because I don't want to bias people.
You don't have to.
And honestly, if because I'm the one who keeps all the votes and everything, if I don't want to be accused later of, oh, well, that's who you said, so you put it in there, because that's actually not the case. I keep the records of anybody.
Has anyone ever done that?
Want to challenge me on this? I've got the records.
Has anyone ever done that to you?
No, I don't think people. As you said, this is not like the Oscars, or anything like that. So, but it is. You know what? It is. It is what it is. Here's what's interesting about this particular award show, and this is why I enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun, but I also think there's a little bit of a lot of legitimacy. Not even a little bit. I don't want to undersell it. I do think there's a lot of legitimacy, because this is the only award show that's fan voted. There are awards, like podcast will do their, hey, here's our awards, and it'd just be like you and I sitting there going, this is who we think should win.
That's it.
Like Pewter Report just does theirs, and I'm not trying to knock on them, but they just did one, and it's just who they think they should win. Or like there's a couple awards, like I think the media core itself gives out to the players and things like that. This is the only show where it's really open to all fans to come and vote. Last year we had over 13,000 votes come in for this award, which was 10,000 more votes than we got the year prior to that. And I'm hoping to get, if we just get up to 20,000 this year, which is only 7 more, like that'd be awesome. Hopefully we blow it out of the water way even more than that, So, and I've got some people asking about most disappointing positions. We don't do that on this show.
Not anymore.
We did the first year, and it was just weird and awkward. So we cut those out. We don't do those on the show.
Because you do get trophies. Everyone gets a trophy.
That's a great thing. So here's what the players or whomever wins actually gets. They get a certificate and a letter kind of explaining what the award is, and the idea that it's from us as fans, collectively as a fan base, that it's not just two knuckleheads sitting in their living room saying, here's who we think should win.
Well, it is.
Huh?
Well, it is. It's two knuckleheads sitting in their living rooms.
Or 13,000 of them, or 20,000 of them, whatever. But it's legitimately from the fans.
Yeah.
Who have gone out and voted. And I don't go in and alter this based on my own personal feelings. Like, whoever wins is whoever wins. But they get the letter explaining that that's who it's from. They get the certificate. And then they actually get like a little trophy. And actually, if I was good, I'd have it pulled up. I've got it around somewhere. But they actually get like a little trophy to sort of commemorate it. And listen, this is a real low budget operation, so figure it, because it's coming out of pocket. So if somebody would like to sponsor the award show this year, maybe we get some nicer trophies to put out there. Contact me at thepewtercast@gmail.com. Anyway, so Ren, that is our award show. Those are our nominations. That's who we've got coming up this year. I'm excited to see how this goes, to watch this over the next couple of weeks. But here's the deal, guys. You have 2 weeks to go vote, and you guys can vote starting right now. You guys want to go vote? Go do it. Here's the web address. You go do it. It's really easy. www.thepewtercastawards.com, and that'll get you there. Let me say it again. www. You may not even have to put that in. It's thepewtercastawards.com. You go there, it'll take you. You can vote. You can vote as often as you like, to be quite honest with you. And we would love to have you guys do that. Spread the word. Let people know about it. And then come back and make sure you join us on January 26th, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time. And we will reveal who is taking home what is so affectionately known as the Pewties. Or the mini Lombardi. I still like the mini Lombardi, but
Do you like the mini Lombardi, or do you
I like
not
the
like,
name. I like
or
the
do you
name.
not like the
Lombardi.
Pewties?
The Pewties has grown on me. It has grown on me. That was something I think you suggested in that first year, Ren.
No, it was Pinnacle.
Pinnacle. So, oh yeah, that's right. That's right. And it keeps coming back every year. So whatever. It's grown on me. It's fine. But how do you spell Pewtie? They're asking. It's P for anyone who wants to know. It's Pewtie is how you
Yes.
spell Pewtie.
Traditional spelling, of course.
Yes, yes. Or it's the PewterCast Award if you really want to be technical about it. So anyway, you guys go vote. The PewterCastAwards.com is where you guys can do that. You can vote from now, like I said, right up until actually I think we'll cut it off on the 25th because I got to tabulate everything. So that's what we've got. You guys can go over their votes. Look, votes are already coming in. People are already voting, man. That's cool. So anyway, with that, Ren, any final thoughts on the nominations here for this year?
With less than 1% of the precincts reported, who's winning?
I cannot answer that because one of the rules we have here is we don't answer on air publicly while it's in the middle of processing going. So sorry.
That's a rule.
Yes.
Okay.
I've because I have people asking me all the time, and I go, and when we get to the show, we don't talk about who came in second, third, how much of a margin they won by, and all that kind of stuff. We just don't, whoever wins, and that's how it works. So,
all right.
But yeah, but you're right. With less than 1% reporting, hopefully it's less than 1%. I don't know. If only 10 people vote,
with 10% of precincts reporting.
Right.
Oh, you asked me something. What was that? Any final thought?
Yeah.
No.
All right. Well, that's it. Well, Ren, we do this every show, so I'll go ahead and do it here. Why don't you tell the folks where they can get a hold of you out there if they want to talk to you?
Sure. Be sure, speaking of voting, be sure to, like Brent mentioned earlier in the show, vote for our guy, Big Nasty, super fan of the Buccaneers. He's up against 5 other fans in the NFL to get into the Hall of Fame. That is wrong.
Ford Hall of Fame.
I got it. Okay. I got it. It's Ford Hall of Fans / no, that's not true either. FordHallOfFans.com / football. Or is it /? It's /.
You just
/.
According to our friend Corey Draper, you just have to say / You don't have to say
That's right, because everyone knows it's /.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So what is it again? FordHallOfFans.com / football. And you go vote there every day. If he wins, he'll get to go to the Super Bowl. He goes to the Super Bowl. And then at the Super Bowl, they treat it just like the other Hall of Fame inductees. He'd be in a hotel. If he gets a knock on the door, he'll know who made it. He'll get a gold jacket. He'll get a commemorative ring, which is, it's not going to be made of plastic. And plus, he gets his bust in the Hall of Fame, which I think is probably the coolest thing ever. So, and it goes in the Football Hall of Fame. Like, it'll be in Canton forever. Right. So I think that's a cool thing. Big Nasty definitely deserves it. He does a lot of charity work. If you're interested in hearing some of the things he does do, just go back one podcast in the feed and listen to it. Brett and I got a chance to talk to Terry Bradshaw. Then after that, we did like a long two I guess separate conversations with Big Nasty there. So, and you can go back and vote that every day. So every day, go to the PewterCast and vote, and then go vote for Big Nasty, get him in the Hall of Fame. But the best place to find me is on Twitter at Rendax, REN_DAXT. I'm always down to talk some Buccaneers football.
And if you guys want to get in touch with me, you can find me at Brent Allen Live across all the social medias, or the show. You can find us at the PewterCast on Twitter and on Facebook. If you got any questions, you can hit us up there, or you can shoot us an email to thepewtercast@gmail.com. pewtercast.com. Once again, the address that you go to vote at is the PewterCastAwards.com. That'll get you over there. You guys can go vote, and you vote for your favorites in each category. We'll tabulate them up. We'll figure it out, and winners get what the winners get. So it should be fun. Can't wait to talk to you guys then. January 26th, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time, right here on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/thepewtercast. We'll talk to you guys then. And so until next time, guys, we'll close the show out as always. Go Bucks.